Yo, yo, yo. Hey, everybody. So, been getting a few questions about clarifying love versus, I guess, fear, love versus the mind, or, what is love exactly, and the difference between how selfish we should be, how selfless we should be, and that, at the end of the day, the quick answer is balance, okay? Always remember balance. This is something that it's going to take time to remember these things. So, writing them down helps. But balance is a great um, word to have in mind for life. It's a very, very useful word, powerful word. Whenever you have any doubt about something, you're not sure about something, or what you should be doing, balance is always one of the words that I refer to because it usually helps answer a lot of questions. So, for example, I been getting questions about love. Here's one recent one I got yesterday on the same sort of topic. I want to ask, where does things like selfishness or selflessness fall in between the love and respect? Okay, that's a good question. Especially for someone who's been backstabbed or hurt, who can no longer figure out who's who by just looking at a person's eyes or what he or she says. And how can a person move ahead? A person who loves but doesn't know how to show love or respect. But doesn't know how to show respect. Okay, so I think I get the gist of this. And it's a good question, yeah. So it's basically what this question is look, how do you move forward, stay loving, stay open, but also be smart and have a good balance between being selfless and selfish. Okay? And at the end of the day, the answer to this question is have a good balance and find a good balance. Okay? Um, as I have said in a lot of my videos, the way you can always tell how to find your balance is, by how you feel. If things are hurting you, then you create distance. That's how you create your balance. You create your distance. Okay? If, look, we all come into this world like a blank canvas, like a clean slate. And the way that human beings we are programmed, in our DNA, in our biology, it's really amazing. We're programmed in a way so that we can evolve and adapt very quickly. So rather than coming into this world already programmed with a lot of fear and a lot of this and this and that, so that by, as soon as we're 2 or 3, if you look at animals, many animals, like by the birth, they already know like to run away from lions or tigers. From birth, they already know so many things. They already know how to stand and walk and run. And humans were different. When we come into this world, we need, you know, for a while I used to see it as like a weakness. Like we come in and we're so delicate, we need to be cared, we need to be loved, for a long time until we become strong and we learn about our environment. But now I see it as an incredible strength and why we're the dominant species on this earth. Probably because of the way that our biology works. We come into this world, and rather than coming into this world programmed with a lot of fear, which is, the baby deer has a lot of fear programmed into it to protect it, you know? It knows to run away from certain animals. It knows to stay close to its mom. It knows how to walk very quickly. I mean, as soon as they're born, they can walk and they can run. Whereas we come into this world more like a blank. clean canvas, like a clean slate. And it's amazing because we're going to be programmed by our unique environment. And that's how humans evolve so quickly, so much more quickly, from my perspective. So when we come into this world, we're a blank canvas, we're a clean slate, and this is what I call love. Okay, this is how I see love. Love is, the absence of fear. You know, love is, a baby who doesn't know what fire is and just wants to touch it, sees it as beautiful. Love doesn't have much judgment, doesn't have any judgment. Okay, so I know it sounds kind of complicated to understand, but it's not. It's not anything. This isn't hippie BS. This isn't magic or mythical whatever stuff. This is scientific. I look at this more scientifically. Your mind comes into this world clean, and we have a driver, a curiosity driver to learn. So we're drawn towards things. And as I said, when you come into this world as a child, we're more loving because we have less fear. We've learned less fear. Okay, so a baby, sees a fire, puts his or her hand into it, then gets burned, and then boom, the blank canvas, the clear mind starts to record data, starts to record experiences, starts to record, fear. So you have we feel it here, the love, we feel it here. It's the things we want, the things that we are attracted to. It's where fun comes from. It's the absence of judgment, the absence of fear. It's the absence, you could say, of thinking. It's when you bypass thinking, being more in the present, as Eckhart told, and a lot of spiritual people before him say. And this is why I don't believe so much that we should be 100% in the present. I don't believe personally that we should be bypassing our thinking so much, our mind. I believe in a balance between fear, the mind, and love, our heart. I believe in a good balance, because if you don't have the balance, you're going to never learn that the fire is going to burn you, and you're going to die. You're going to burn away. You're going to, it's not great for our survival. Okay? If you walk around the corner and you're a 6-year-old kid and a lion jumps out and boom, you're terrified of that lion and you run away, you survive. The next week, you wind up around the same corner, you're going to have fear. You're going to be like, oh, I remember what happened last time. And that fear is probably going to protect you, save your life. And that's what the fear is there for. The fear isn't some bad, evil, bad guy. The ego is this bad guy, or fear is, evil and bad. No, this is such stupid bullshit nonsense. And I'm sorry to say, but a lot of this hippie bullshit is all love, 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 and fear is bad, and they'll judge you if you show fear. They'll judge you. I mean, I don't want to get into it. There's a lot of people who are very lost, but they think that they're found. Okay, and it's just a fashion. It's just a trend. This video I want to direct at people who actually want to get on with their life. And we're not doing this because of trend or fashion. We're doing this to improve ourselves, okay? To get on with life in the best way that we can. So fear is not a bad thing. Understand what it's there for. It's there to help us learn. If we get hurt in a relationship, the pain is going to be recorded in our mind so that in the future, when we enter a relationship, we're going to be smarter. We're not going to make the same mistakes again. Okay? That's what it's there for, so that we will improve. We will be in a better relationship next time. We will be better at relationships next time. Okay? That's all it is. It's not like crazy complicated. And all love is our ability to tap in, to connect with that part of us that, is attracted to things, that finds all things attractive, regardless of, judgment, thinking too much. So, rather than judging people by their skin color or their religion or the way they speak, that's love, right? That's when, as a child, a little child's not going to see, you know, different religions or, what you do is your job and then judge you. No. Okay? So that's love. Love is something that we always have. Fear is just recorded data on top of the canvas of love. Okay? And all fear is just experiences that teach us, but the problem that we have as we grow older is that we have more experiences, so we are likely to encounter more pain and more suffering. So our job as we grow older is to not allow fear to suffocate the love that we have within us, and to keep that balance, so that we have 50% love, we have 50% fear, and we go into the world in that way with balance. We train ourselves, and this is important, okay? Because look, so many people out there, so much of the self-help world, or gurus or coaches and all of this, will just say, go into the world and 50%, they'll say, and love, just love, yeah? Nobody really talks about the fact that, for years and decades, you've been conditioned, your mind has been doing exercise to think in a certain way. So let's say from the age of 6, you had a racist father who's going to be teaching you that, whoever, a certain group of people are bad or whatever. From the age of 6, you're reinforcing these thoughts. That's how we condition ourselves, by the thoughts that we reinforce, that we repeat. Every time you repeat a thought, it becomes stronger. And the more you repeat thoughts, they become beliefs. And the more that you exercise your beliefs, the beliefs become instinctual responses, so that by the time that little 6-year-old kid is 20 and walks into a room and sees the people that his father has been teaching him are bad people, it's no longer going to be a thought or a belief. It's going to be a biological instinctual response. He's going to feel like, ugh, he's going to respond like, oh, what the fuck is this guy doing in this room? All right? It's going to be instinctual. So, like I said, I do not hear many people talk about this. I was very lucky to get coaching from someone, learn from someone whose practice was all about, this conditioning of the mind and how to recondition your mind, through journaling, all of this sort of thing. And it takes time. You see, like when we have a thought, let's say today you wake up and for the first time in your life you have a new thought. And your new thought is, my life is going to suck. My life is going nowhere. And you never had this thought before, but today you had it. Then you start thinking about it more today. This week you think about it more. If you keep thinking about this thought, it's going to become a belief that your life is going nowhere. And once it becomes a belief, it's going to be much more difficult to recondition. You're going to need to go into journaling, into writing affirmations, into positive self-talk every day, writing down that the future is going to be awesome. Affirmations to counter that negative thinking. But if you do it long enough, it goes from belief to becoming instinctual, it becomes in your DNA. That your body will start to take shape and form of someone whose future is going to suck. Okay, so this is how it works, um, and this is why it's so important to be aware. This is why awareness is so important, because you can be aware of the thoughts you're having, and you can quickly anticipate the thoughts before they become beliefs. And you can catch them when they start to appear. And then, if you understand the importance, the power of these thoughts, then you can start to divert your thoughts immediately, not indulge them, not allow them to become beliefs. Okay, so to answer this question, love is something we all have. It's the canvas of who we are, is love. It's what drives us towards everything without judgment, without thought. It's when people jump off a cliff into like an ocean, they're not thinking, they're not allowing fear. That's why we are attracted to people like that, because they still retain their love. They still let love conquer their fear. Love is what drives exploration, explores to go out into space. It's what allows people to overcome their fear of death. It's endless. It's such an important part of our life. Love is what brings things into our life, new experiences into our life. Okay? The more fear we accumulate, it's fine, there's nothing wrong with it, but we shouldn't be allowing the fear to control us. Okay? So when we accumulate fear, like when I started doing MMA, mixed martial arts, one of my favorite moves to do was my takedowns. I used to take people down all the time. Really, even pro fighters, even like great professionals, some famous people, I used to be able to be very quick and take them down. And then over time, as I'd be doing takedowns on people, actually recently in the last year, I did a few takedowns and I would get poked in the eye by mistake, but they really, really hurt. Getting poked in the eye hurts tremendously, especially when you go really fast to take someone down and their thumb sticks out and it goes in your eye. So this happened to me several times, and of course the fear starts to take over. It starts to control you, like not to do takedowns. So that's a great example of how fear can control your life. And you see, whereas before I would be taking down people, taking down famous fighters, professional fighters, great fighters. That was one of my secret weapons, one of my special moves, something that made my fighting style awesome and unique. Now I'm faced with this battle of love overcoming fear, all right? Conquering the fear. And I'm okay with the battle. And the way that you do it is you just have to keep doing it. Okay, you have to face the fear. You have to keep doing it and realize that, look, these things can happen, but am I going to stop training mixed martial arts? Am I going to stop doing takedowns? Am I going to stop doing my secret weapon? No. You learn from the experience, and perhaps I'll make my takedowns better. I'll work on my techniques so that I'm going to avoid pokes in the eyes. Okay, so that's the correct way to deal with fear. If you're struggling with breakups, we learn, we improve ourselves, which is what we're all doing. Anyone who's watching these videos knows this is what we do here, is we're on a journey of continuous self-improvement, and that's all you have to focus on. You don't have to focus about your ex, you don't have to focus about your problems, your fears. Focus on improving yourself. So when I encounter this issue of now fear with my takedowns, all I have to do is just focus on improving my takedowns, okay? That's how it works. So I hope that answers, this distinction about love, and is asking about respect versus love. This is a good question. Maybe I'll go into another video since this is getting long. But, respect and love, to answer that quickly, is that, we're not all going to like each other completely. There's going to be things that we dislike about each other, okay? And respect is when you give someone else that the benefit of the doubt, when you choose love over fear, when you decide to see the best in someone rather than seeing the worst. Or if you're seeing the worst and you really can't help that, you respect them anyway by doing what is right, having good principles and staying to those principles, not lying, not cheating, not hurting. At the end of the day, the basis of respect is, for me, it's kindness. Kindness, but you've got to respect yourself as well. So I guess this links into your question, the person who asked, I'm sure you know who you are. Kindness, respecting other people, but also respecting yourself. This is where the big, strong balance can come in, because you're asking about, being walked over and, selflessness and selfishness. Where's that balance of being selfless and giving to people, but also, to be selfish, having that balance is respect yourself. Respect yourself first. Love yourself first. It all has to come from you first. You can't respect anyone properly if you don't respect yourself first. If I'm going to be talking behind other people's backs, am I respecting them? No. Okay? Do unto others how you'd like to be done unto yourself. Okay? That's respect. Respect is when you treat other people the way you want to be treated. Okay? And actually, the way you treat yourself is going to reflect in how you treat other people. Okay? So respect yourself first. If someone is abusing you, taking from you, backstabbing you, respect yourself enough to distance yourself. Doesn't mean you have to be a dick to that person. Doesn't mean you have to hurt that person. All you do is you distance yourself. You give yourself that respect, and that space, and that love, and you get back to the mission, which is continuous improving yourself. Okay, strengthening yourself. Okay, we can be kind, we can be giving, but we also have to be kind and giving to ourselves. That's where the balance comes in. Do not lose yourself. Do not forget about yourself. All right, so look, these topics really can go on for a long time. I could ramble on about this in detail for a long time, but I want to sort of just blast a bunch of stuff out there, and there's going to be a lot of holes, gaps, that require further explanation, further detail, but I have a feeling people out there are smart enough to just hear one thing and then fill in a lot of the gaps themselves. And if not, ask me questions. I'm always willing and happy to share. It's an honor for me to be able to share all of this stuff that I have learned from other people with everyone out there who's watching. And honestly, I feel this is the best way for our world to become a better place, thanks to this technology that's enabling all of us to interact and share and connect with each other. So let's keep our love and fear in check, okay? Because love is where fun and awesome, it's where fun comes from. It's where exploration is. It's where new experiences is. Fear is just there to protect us. We move forward with caution, but move forward. Don't trap yourself and be stagnant. Alright, so I've noticed that sometimes my videos get cut off for some reason as I'm saying goodbye, so I'm just going to do a bunch of stuff for a few minutes now in case it gets cut off. Ah.